So I want to make this video because honestly this came to my attention where now multiple people, and because of course Google wants to be a dick, where they basically remove your use of your phone because they think that you're going to install malware off the internet via APKs, but quite ironically promoted malware on the fucking Google Play Store. So I don't know what the fuck they're on, but let's just go into detail of what the hell may be going on. So people, of course, like usual, just in fact abuse the Google Play system via pretty much uploading malware to it. Via doing the first initial check, just say that it's safe, but then another one, which is going to be kind of like an update, where it's pretty much just malware. These are fake games which are not uploaded by the official EA Games page. These games, of course, the developers behind them have, of course, other games that are easily knockoffs. For example, Truck Driving School Simulator, and of course, Single B and BS Now Simulator. Both, of course, low quality as shit games, which could in fact be induced into malware, because games like these and how they do them is they pretty much want to in fact upload games to them so that people could download them and open them and pretty much have like malware from them. They have already a lifetime, and now we have in Nigeria involved. Like, brother, like we already had like Okuzek already exposing like Nigeria for uploading low quality games from like an oil company, but now they're doing the same thing but from an ICT solution company. But this one is kind of similar, where they have Real Racing 3 and then they have Minecraft Block and Build 3D, where it's pretty much just knockoff Minecraft, and of course another one, My Voice Animal Zoo, which is pretty much another knockoff game of another game. So pretty much all of these games are pretty much knockoffs of different other games, or just really low quality shit games that are pretty designed in order to be Trojan horses, so that when you in fact install them and of course use them, you in fact can be controlled by these hackers. Like, these hackers have full control of your devices, and we do not know what permission they may actually have involved. It's quite ironic because of course Google is pretty much locking down your phone in 123 days, and we go like, why? Why are they doing this? Because, well, they want to make sure, right, that everyone in fact stays safe on their Android devices. They want to do the same reason why Apple in fact locks down their devices, for safety reasons, which is bullshit really, because the main reason why we chose Android is because of the openness of allowing us to install APKs. The knowledge that of course we're gonna have risks of installing APKs. We always accepted the risk that we may actually eventually install an APK that may have a virus in it. And it's absolutely fucking stupid, and they want to do this so that they can make sure, right, that, if you want to quote-unquote increase safety, which is bullshit. They don't really have any good reason apart from increasing their monopolization, because we know fact, right, that the two main monopolies are Android and, of course, iPhone, which they made fucking clear, by the way, and, of course, alternatives like Linux and all those stuff, especially on mobile, could be possible, but only possible on older devices. It's not possible on modern devices, and, of course, devices that keep on getting released, for example, the Samsung and stuff, because the Samsungs are literally getting so locked down with Android to the point where it's getting even harder to simply replace the OS without breaking the device and such, because it's that built in. And thus, people know about this, and of course, companies like Data Bytes IT Solution Nigeria Limited, and of course, Lifetime Games Private Limited, of course, know about this, and basically abusing the factor that by September 2026, you need to provide over identification just so you can upload games, and just so that people could install your games. This is not a benefit. In fact, it's a major disadvantage, and it won't benefit anyone. It's just simply going to lock it down even further, where people can install more malware than ever, because all they need to do is carry on with the exploit that they're doing, is they'll be bypassing Google security, which they always say is top tier, even though we clearly again and again and again and again have even proved that it's not working for the most part. That there's always malware they're slipping through, but they always don't want to flex that. They don't want to flex like that. Yes, we have some malware going through because that looks bad for shareholders. They want to flex like that. They always, and I mean by always catching malware and absolutely destroying it and eradicating it from their Google Play. They're not doing that. They're literally doing the opposite. Let's check out the other one, Real Car Racing Pro 3, which is by Root Games Ltd, which of course makes knockoff Real Miami Gangster Crime game, which is literally just GTA 5, and of course Real Miami Crime Gangster 3D, which is another GTA 5 clone. Well, of course, Miami Mafia 3D Gangster game, which is of course another GTA 5 knockoff. With of course Spooky Monster Survival FPS, which is Brave Rot, Tactical FPS Gunshots, which is pretty much, I believe, CSGO, but knockoff. It's basically a bunch of knockoff games, but the main difference is that they're using official artwork, which is another thing, right, where Google does not, in fact, check out these games to see if they're original. And due to this, right, it makes sure that the Google Play Store is one of, if not the most littered places for not only malware, because all they need to do is post official artwork and go like, oh, this is GTA, but you have to rename it so that it doesn't get taken down. But also because like, they could just upload things like these, where like they have AI generated thumbnails and stuff, which is not only terrible in terms of cybersecurity as it's very, but also because like generally like it's not really as good as, of course, could give the Google Play Store a bad rating, which is quite ironically because they've been doing this for fucking years. So this one is apparently like supposed to be Real Racing 3, but like online track, and of course it's heavily AI generated the fuck out of it. Like you can literally tell it's just AI generated from here. Like you can zoom in and just see the AI generation. Like for example, like the boards don't look as good, and like even though the AI is getting a little bit more better, it's still terrible and dog shit. And of course, there's multiple like these, like of course, Real Car Racing Simulator, which just seems to be a knockoff of Asphalt 8, Asphalt 9, but not really the actual full graphical ones, just the absolute light versions of them, which is quite specific. And on top of this, they're of course using the app icon, which is similar to Real Racing 3, which is not really real, which is like very different. Like in terms of pretty much having the back end of a different car and having a different name entirely over it. Well, of course, did the same thing where they, of course, have AI generated artwork inside of the actual description of them. They'll, of course, be uploaded around the 20th of April. The 21st of March 2026, and I want to check out these two because these two have been uploaded on the 29th of April and of course the 28th of April. So these have in fact been uploaded around the same time as, of course, each other, showing that there is in fact going to be an increase, especially when that more people want to in fact play Real Racing 3. They noticed this trend, as such hackers, malware enthusiasts, and of course other people who want to in fact steal data and abuse people's phones, will in fact use this golden opportunity as a kind of like a well in order to simply gain as much victims as they can by uploading fake games like these to the Google Play Store so that people could in fact pre-register for them, then eventually sign up to them and then automatically install them, which in fact will automatically install the malware once in fact the game opens, because that's how it mostly works really, where most of these apps are mostly designed as a way in order to be an opener, where you install the app, then from there, right, you install additional assets, which are pretty much malware assets, which could be crypto miners, which could be malwares, like, it could be all those stuff. So, what would I recommend to you guys is honestly just to, in fact, right, do not really install anything to do with Real Racing 3 or anything like, for example, if you search up Real Racing 3 and it has names similar to Real Racing 3, like, just do not install them because they're probably malware, they're not good, and yeah, like, a great example would be, like, for example, Real Racing 3, Real Car 3, or these ones, do not install them. But, of course, original names like Asphalt 8, Asphalt Legends, CSR2, Hero Class Racing 2, these original names, install them instead, because with these original names, they're less likely to have malware, and of course, because the amount of players that have them installed, which is another thing, downloads, because you want to also check out the downloads as well. If they have, of course, a lot of downloads, that means it's a lot more trustworthy, as of course, less people, if I'm going to report there's going to be malware in these games, of course, there's going to be like hacking in these games. But with these games, of course, some are going to have 1 million, and of course, some there could be bots that they could, what is it? to their advantage, really. And of course, some of them, and of course, you can say about, of course, ratings. What about ratings themselves? Well, with ratings, they can in fact be absolutely AI botted. Of course, the majority of them are, of course, 1 star. But if you go for 5 star, and of course, like, look at them, you can kind of see like that some of them could be botted based on like emojis and stuff. Some of them like look as if like, not really visual, and of course you can see that some of them are, of course, 100% just merely trying to be based on India, because of course India has some really shitty phones and don't really run these modern games as good. So that's it. I just want to talk about. Really, I just want to talk about the malware situation that's maybe in fact going on, and how that Google's in fact going to try to lock down your device, and that how that the future of Windows 3, especially on the Google Play Store, is 100% non-existent. As pretty much if we go upload hours to the Google Play Store, then it will just not be worth it, because it's probably going to be taken down by EA. Hopefully EA could in fact see this, and hopefully they can in fact take the visible actions of in fact taking these 2 games down and many others with similar names, so that they can make sure that the Real Resident IP stays not only protected, but also so that less victims are in fact going to be signing up to these and pre-registering, so that they can have like much more infected malware on their devices. So that's everything I want to in fact say and in fact notify you guys about. Stay safe.